Hey, Andy here. So this is my first video blog, I guess you could say. I've never done this before, but I kind of wanted to do it, help me motivate me for painting my models, building them and whatnot. Gives me time to kind of talk 40k, and hopefully it helps motivate others too. With 6th edition coming out, I've been pretty reinvigorated into 40k, I'd say. I've really been motivated to try and work on things, and I was going to make a painting tutorial, and I wanted to show you some of the Exorcist models that I have painted so far. I've still got easily half my army to paint, so I'm going to try and make some painting tutorials on how to make them as I'm painting the models in the future. I'll have some video blogs of it. But here's an ironclad dread I've got. As you can see, I use kind of hard line highlighting to really make the armor pop. I use multiple layers. You can see I got some writing on him, and here's my Exorcist symbol. It's not the greatest freehand ever, but I'm not the greatest at it anyway. And the thing just looks awesome with the massive claws. That's the reason I use it. It hasn't been necessarily the most useful model in battle, but got the hunter killer missiles on it. Yeah, so there's that. This is how I paint my tanks. It's a little different than how I paint infantry. As you can see, I hardline highlight all my tanks, and then you can kind of see I use wet blending highlight on infantry, but I'll just give you a view of all my tanks here. I got my land speeder Typhoons. These things are awesome. I highly advise using them. Having 8 missiles a turn of either the blast or the strength 8, it really makes a huge difference against tanks and infantry. These things are very scary, and people don't really realize it. And with how fast vehicles work now, you can actually move and fire the Typhoon missiles and your heavy bolters. So it's even more anti-infantry power. I usually forget to do it, but keep that in mind. Really, really good combination. Gives them long-range fire. And here's some of the infantry. This is my Stern Guard veteran. As you can see with the Exorcist, I use a Chaos helmet, and I actually cut the horns, and I reposition them to look like the Exorcist symbol to a degree. You can kind of see there how it looks. And there's his helmet. And I gave him the gold helmet because he's a 1st Company veteran sergeant. Got his combi melta from the commander. But this is the highlighting I wanted to show you. You can see the shoulder, how it goes real dark, and it gets lighter. And you can see that on the elbow pad, the hand there, even on the feet a little bit. I try and use wet blending with multiple paints, and I've really liked how they've turned out. I'll give you another. Here's my commander. You should see on his knee pad there how it highlights a little bit. I also used it on the horns of this thing, kind of go from light pink down to more purpley. And yeah, you can see on the shoulder here, on his helmet. It makes it, I try and imagine that the sun is kind of in front of the Marines, shining down on them, so that's why it's kind of in the front and then it gets darker as you go back. But yeah, if you like how this looks, in my painting tutorials I'm going to try and explain how to do that. As you can see, this is my relic blade. I tried to make it, since Exorcists are more demon hunters than anything, I try to make it more of a warp blade look. That's why it's pure black and has multiple colors. So a relic of the Exorcist chapter. He's my plasma cannon guy. Let my camera focus a little bit. Come on. It's right there. You can see how I use my plasma. I use multiple layers of highlighting. Yeah, he's missing his arm. He's got to get his new shoulder pads. Yeah, it's 5th Company, as you can see by the 5 there. I always paint my tactical Marines correctly, give them an arrow, try and make them chapter approved, you know. Because Exorcist, although some people believe they're the Grey Knight's successor, which they may be, they're still chapters of Astartes, so they will follow the Codex Astartes to a T. Some people proxy them as Grey Knights, but I don't believe they are all Psychers. It's not in the fluff, it doesn't really make sense. They've been possessed by a demon, and then the demon is excised. It doesn't instantly make them all Brotherhood of Psychers. Here's the sergeant with the combi plasma. He's got his bionic arm chain sword. I choose not to use power fists. I don't like the 25-point investment. I try and shoot And since I have combat tactics, if I get in combat and I'm not going to win, I'll just fall back. No point in trying to win a combat where tactical marines are really just not meant for it. They're very rarely going to win, even with the power fist. Might give you a couple extra shots, but if you're up against something tough, use crack grenades, I'd say at this point with 6th edition. If anything, give him a melt-a-bomb. Then you have 1 strength 8 attack, and it's only a 5-point investment. That would be my advice. And it's AP 1, so it actually is a little bit better against vehicles than a power fist. So that's that. I've still got, I'll kind of go through my army list here. Got my Landspeeder Typhoons, obviously. Got my Storm Talon, Skyhammer missiles. Got my Ironclad Dread there. Hunter Killers and whatnot. I've got 5 Stern Guard with 3 Combi Meltas. They may not always be used, but I have them just because I liked my idea of using the robes from the Dark Angels for veterans. But I like those models quite a bit. Got my Commander with Artificer Armor and a Relic Blade. I will also have a Librarian at some point, and I just need another left arm with a bolt pistol for him. But I'll probably be using him some just because I like the new psychic powers as well. I've got my 10-man tactical squad. This is the 2 guys representing them for now, since they're all on various degrees of armlessness. I really like the plasma squads. In my last game I played against Ultramarines, and I fired Overwatch with a plasma gun and exploded the Dreadnought when it tried to assault me. I thought it was pretty hilarious. But all around, the plasma really is devastating against everything. Having a plasma cannon, combi plasma, and a plasma gun is just so much strength 7 AP2. But that's that squad. I have another tactical squad that is still right there. Yeah. Need some building. It's going to be missile launcher, flamer, combi flamer. So they're more of a anti-infantry role, with the missile still having the option of hitting some of the heavier vehicles. So it's something I lack, is anti-infantry. I've got these 3 attack bikes. I didn't want to show them off because they're not painted, obviously. But they all have their multi-melta. Very good squad. I love those attack bikes. For 150 points, 3 multi-meltas, I can move 12 inches or more, with 12 inches in fire, along with their twin-linked bolters. Really good squad. I've also got a Land Raider Crusader with 5 Assault Terminators. The Land Raider's a Grey Knight still at this point. It's all silver, so it needs to be repainted, and the Assault Terminators are unpainted. I've got... Sorry for the random cut in the video. Realized I had a chicken patty cooking and I forgot about it. But, where I left off. I've got a Predator with autocannon turret and las cannon sponsons. It's kind of an unusual combination, but they all have the same range, and they're very good at light tank hunting. Las cannons can also be used for heavier tanks, but not quite as effectively as, say, a Melta or something. So it's got 4 strength 7 or above shots, so it's pretty handy. It's done very well for me so far. And then I use my 5 Stern Guard, as I said. Yeah, I actually think that's everything on my list. Feels like there should be more, but the Land Raider and Terminators really take up a lot. I've been considering taking Lysander and adding him to either a 10-man Stern Guard squad to give them bolter drill, which would be awesome. Not the greatest combo that makes sense necessarily, but it'd be a lot of twin-link bolters that are just great. Or adding him to maybe a Terminator squad. He's strength 10 AP1 Thunderhammer with Eternal Warrior. He's a pretty tough guy. That was the main addition I've been thinking. I don't know. I've just been debating dropping certain things, adding certain things. That's how every list goes. I always want to decide on new things, but that'll be for another blog. Just wanted to kind of get started, kind of explain what's going to be going on. Hopefully I'll have a lot more battle reports coming out, and I might talk about them some while I paint. And yeah, I hope I wasn't too rambly. This is my first time doing this, and I kind of just talked with whatever came to mind, which I guess is what vlogs are all about, right? Hope you enjoy, and see you soon.